too brown. Too curly? I feel like I'm in the Olympics. Rocket Man! My name is Justin, and I'm in a band called Recycle Percussion. We started 20 years ago in the state of New Hampshire, and now have our own headline show in Las Vegas, where we perform over 600 shows a year. And that's just where the chaos begins, because in the house behind me lives a rock band, my family, the most beautiful daughters in the world, 2 dogs, where's the other one? 2 fish, 2 fish? 1 fish, in endless chaos. But above all, we love to give back and make a difference. So welcome to our world of chaos and kindness. Welcome to Chaos and Kindness, China Edition. Over the next 40 days, Recycle Percussion will perform a staggering 100+ shows in just 40 days in the beautiful city of Qingdao, China. You can imagine the chaos that ensues when we go east. And we want to take you along for that journey. So buckle up, get your popcorn, and let's get the party started. Time to go to China. It's 6 a.m. Let the 31-hour travel day begin. Holy smokies. This is crazy. Just finished a 15-hour flight. My ankles are swollen. And our flight's been canceled, and now we're in this line, which is gonna take at least 7 hours to find out that they don't have a flight till Thursday. So the trip is off to a brutal start. Let me remind you that Beijing is one of the world's largest airports. So you can imagine how hard it is to find a flight when there are none to be had. I don't know what they're saying. This is a difficult task when you can speak English, but when nobody speaks English and there's a huge language barrier, it can get very frustrating. It's all in Chinese.
English is no good, slowly. You want to pick up your baggage?
Well, we need to find a way to this Qingdao.
This airline is cancelled. You need to go to Air China ticket counter.
Nobody had any idea what we were talking about, and we obviously needed a new plan.
I think the only option is going to be to find somebody to drive us. When Recycle Percussion travels, we travel. Most people have 1 suitcase. We have 16, and they're not just suitcases, they're instruments, and those instruments are why we're here. So now we had to get the instruments, find a way to transport them, get them to the hotel. The entire thing was a complete nightmare. But because we have so much of it, it's not reasonable to put it in a taxi and drive to 18 miles to a train station, sit there and take out a train 8 hours.
Taking a taxi from the train station to the hotel.
I'd rather just go find someone that has like a big van, like a big luxury van. After an hour and a half of struggling to get our luggage, to make contact and communicate, we finally had our stuff, and we found a driver who was willing to drive us the 10-hour trip to Qingdao from Beijing. The problem was, I think he slept the whole way. After 10 strenuous, scary hours of driving through the night, and we're now 40 hours of travel, we have arrived in
Video.
Yeah. Hi, we are in China, Qingdao. Welcome you to China. Hi.
The first day is always the hardest, getting all the gear together, corralling the guys, bringing it to the stage, and seeing it for the first time. There's always some hiccups, but we're professionals and we're veterans, so we made the best of it.
Teach me. That?
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
After sound check, we had a little meeting. See, when you play as many shows as we do, almost 500 shows a year, you have to keep things interesting. Drumstick, what happens? What's the punishment if you drop the stick on ladders? That's
Is
the
this a
punishment.
physical,
Yeah.
physical fitness challenge or something?
There's a part of the show where we perform on ladders, and we throw drumsticks to each other. If anyone drops a drumstick, the physical challenges are about to be had. That's like right there after the show's done.
On the spot. So if it has to be here on the spot, we don't have a gym, we don't have weights, it has to be something
But it has to be something that's like that suck.
brutal.
For those of you at home that don't know what a burpee is, there's a reason why it's called a burpee, because it makes you want to burp. It's a push-up, a squat, a little bit of cardio, and a sit-up all mixed into one. It's like a variety pack of extreme exercise. 50
Per drop?
per drop. 100? 100?
Dude, that's brutal though.
As if the shows aren't hard enough and performing 3 shows a night, dropping 1 stick would be catastrophic. Including Lane?
Including Lane. Because he'll be so pissed. Lane will be so livid.
With all the details ironed out and everyone in agreement, the only thing left to do was convince our DJ Lane. However, he doesn't throw a drumstick, so it's gonna be a tough sell. Oh, so you're in on this. This is a team thing we're doing.
What?
So what we're gonna do is we have 113 shows and we have to do ladders 3 times a night. So there's gonna be a rotation. Ryan and I are gonna do ladders 1 time. Alex and I are gonna do ladders 1 time, and then these 2 do ladders 1 time. If anybody drops a stick on those throws, every time a stick gets dropped, as a group, you have to do 50 burpees after the show.
Why? How about we do 50 handstands?
He wasn't happy, but what DJs and dancers are.
50 burpees?
Every time someone drops a stick. If you drop 2 sticks, the first show, we're doing 100 burpees.
100 burpees.
Between the shows.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I'll be dead. I danced the whole show. Now you want me to do 50 burpees in between the shows?
50 air squats, which is way easier than 50 burpees. With the terms of the negotiations being set, the only thing left to do was execute on stage. With the first night of performances approaching, it was time to see who could handle the pressure. Coming up after the break, we convince our camera guy Keller to eat something that nobody should eat.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So here we are, Recycle Percussion in China, performing over 100 shows in 40 days. We're just getting started, and the physical challenges are about to be had. We decided on a challenge that if you drop the drumstick, everyone in the band had to do 50 burpees the night of the show. And we've dropped a stick. Houston, we have a problem.
3, 4, 5.
And another stick. And another stick. And the more sticks we drop, the more we're gonna look like sticks with our bodies. Stick figures. Figures. Sticks of figures. The fans in China were absolutely insane. But we also knew there was some insane things to be had off stage. You ain't kidding. Qingdao has one of the world's largest malls. It's like 7 floors, 17,000 stores. It even has an amusement park and an ice rink. And an Apple store, which I visited and went improv. On the other side of the spectrum of the mall was the beach. Want to leave the hotel today. We're gonna go to this beach here I found. The problem is there's a huge language barrier in this area. So you just show a picture. this could be a 10-minute taxi ride. This could be a 2-hour taxi ride. And I have a show in 4 hours. We have 3 shows starting in 4 hours. So, you know, when you visit Paris or you visit, you know, Costa Rica, places that I've often, you know, found myself, you can really kind of finagle your way through the language. But in China, I mean, it's like there's no similarities of any kind. I've been here now for days. This is my 2nd time in China, and I've still only figured out how to say hello and thank you. So pretty soon I think we're gonna have to figure out how to say lost. This is good. No, you're good. You stoked. Oh, okay. I was excited because I heard beach. And when you picture beach, you think of Aruba. This was not Aruba. This was very different. I've never seen a beach like this in my life. Dude, this is weird, man. This is crazy. I mean, this is what happens when you put a beach in an area where 12 million people live, you know what I'm saying? And she's got corn on the cob in the water. Is she eating that? That's dinner? Anyhow, these people here, this is very normal for them. But if they came to where I live, they might find how we live and how we function, and how we have a day at the beach to be just as odd as this is. This is strange. I see a Caucasian, let's go. You speak English? What do they do with the green stuff around here?
They clean up every day, but there's a lot of it. And I won't surprise if part ended up in the restaurant.
Oh, really? He was telling me that the green is actually like a seaweed that he wouldn't be surprised if it ends up as dinner tonight at a lot of restaurants. McDonald's for me. You're smoking? How old are you, 12?
Yeah.
No? Everybody's smoking. It's just amazing to experience different cultures, to travel the world and see how other people live. It makes you also realize how incredibly fortunate you already are to have the things that you have and to have the lifestyle that you live every day. Are you nervous?
Yes.
That thing.
Dude, no way.
Well, touch it. Put your hand there, touch it. Going to China, the biggest struggle for me was gonna be diet. I'm a really picky eater. Downstairs in the lobby of our hotel, the restaurant that they have there is all alive things, creatures, animals, many I've never seen before from the ocean. And there was one thing that stuck out. Oh, dude, it's alive. It was called the spoon worm. For those of you who don't know, our camera guy has a track record of having to eat creatures. In Puerto Rico, we made him eat a centipede. This was next level, because this one was alive. It's moving in there. Oh, God. All right, let's give him a plate.
Do not want to get super sick from this.
Why would you get sick?
Because those
Why
are
would
sitting
you
out.
get sick?
They're open air. They're sitting in water that we've tried so hard not to drink this whole trip. We haven't even eaten the ice from the water.
I think he was a little nervous of the unknown, and rightfully so.
It's not even the taste at this point. What I'm afraid of is I'm gonna bite it and it's not gonna rip, and I'm gonna have to like do one of these, and it's gonna be like slipping around, and it's gonna just extend the whole experience by an excruciating amount of time. I gotta remember that this is for a lot of people like a super normal thing. I don't know how else to justify it. It's nice and slimy. You can see
dude,
it slipping.
it's alive.
and slimming. It's alive.
Yeah.
I wish there's someone here who spoke English who could like give me some tips. Be like, well, whatever you do, don't eat it from that side.
Just squeeze it. Squeeze it. You can at least feel it. Ah! I don't like the way it feels. Feel this thing. But just feel it. Yeah. Dude, feel it. It's swelling up. This spoon worm was so slimy, so disgusting, just touching it, no way.
That's what's like, I'm like, what is in that?
None of us truly knew what this actual creature was, so we had to ask and confirm, is it customary to bite into this while it's still alive?
养不了。
Oh, he said cut it.
I don't know, man. The more I'm sitting here, the worse it's getting.
杀它。
Yeah, you got it.
And you can hear it. It's hard to explain. It just has this like pop sound to it. Ugh.
He just popped it.
Look at the guts in here.
All this just sprayed out.
So,
I'm just gonna bite off the
float in
skin.
your mouth. Float in your mouth.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, not
in
the
your
whole
mouth.
thing. No.
Oh,
No. It's ruined.
You gotta really
Oh, dude,
get
it's
in
still
there.
alive.
It's like a fine beef jerky.
Keller, well, he was much braver than I was. In fact, didn't have the reaction I thought he would have. But that's because he didn't bite into it and he cut it open. So we had to find somebody else that we were traveling with, that maybe that person wouldn't mind just ripping it apart. And we found someone.
Okay.
So we're here with our buddy Chris. Chris is from Austin, Texas. He's in the band One Trick Pony.
Yeah, they're wanting me to eat something that's weird. I was like kind of open to the idea, but now I came and looked at it, and I'm having some doubts. I want you to notice how these things are like inflating and deflating. Like, I don't know if they're breathing, if they're defecating, if they're giving birth. Like, what processes are those? Oh boy, let me get a sip before.
I got you a bottle.
Okay, you got it, man.
Got a little bit of
TV, bro. Just
All right,
right
here we
off
go.
the tip.
Here we go. All right,
For TV.
Austin, Texas, baby.
He bit into it without hesitation.
Dude, come show. Look. Look at what coming out of that intestines.
Austin, Texas, to eat it.
Anyways, well, I hope that was entertaining. It's not worth it.
200 if you eat that right there. In the bowl, I could see the intestines of this living creature floating in blood. And I knew somebody had to eat that, but they weren't gonna do it for free. So I offered Chris $200 to eat those guts.
If I eat this, do I die? No, no die? Live. Strong. Rinse that off a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, that's enough. We knew we were witnessing something very special when the locals started to congregate and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. When you see locals pulling out phones to film you doing something, you start to question yourself. $200, I'll give it to you. So far, our journey here in China has been absolutely incredible. The fans have been amazing, the culture has been groundbreaking, and we're having a fantastic time. The jet lag has subsided, we're starting to find our way, and everybody's coming together to make this an incredible trip. Now, with so many weeks still left, we have a lot more to come, so we hope you at home tune in to the next episode of Chaos and Kindness as things get even more insane here in China. And one final thing that we do for a fan who attended every single show that we performed in China.
But he's afraid to come in because of this.
Ask him what his name is. Here in China, we're performing over 100 shows. But ever since the very first performance, we've noticed that there's one guy who continues to come back to every single show. We wanted to meet this guy and figure out what his story is. Come to find out, he's had some really hard times, and we're gonna do what we can to be there for him.
He's nervous. Tell Justin to come out.
But he's afraid to come in because of this.
Pretty good.
He doesn't want to. He's uncomfortable. Yeah, he's like, you don't want to laugh.
Hey!
He said he is afraid of me. His leg will scare me.
What's wrong with his leg?
Uh-huh.
His leg won't scare me.
No, it's
Ask him what his name is.
Changliang. He comes here every day.
Tell him I'm going to give him a gift. Dippin' Dots, like Dippin' Dots? I don't know why we didn't go in there. Because I'm hungry.
There you go, Ben.
I felt the pop though. There you go.
Reliving the old days.
Yeah, one more go round.
This is my store right here.
Actually, not bad, dude.
This is for me. For me.
No.
Girlfriend.
Son.
Oh, her size? She's a big girl.
Same size as him.
Same size as me. Size 13. In women's.